Good morning. So very shortly I am leaving to go hiking with my sister and my son, and we're just going to hike, backpacking it for a few days out in the woods. I'm so excited. It's just us and our bear spray and our complete lack of personal hygiene, and there's something very cathartic for me to be out in the woods. I start asking myself all the big existential questions. So I'm glad that my sister's going because she's made the same way I do. We get all philosophical, and it's almost like a reset button gets pressed. And I need that right now because I've been driving myself crazy with my studies. And the one course that I'm in right now is so fascinating. It's sensation and perception in psychology. So it's all about how the different sensory organs work, and in very detailed manner, with lots of big words. But right now I am studying vision. Oh my goodness, every day at supper, the family's like, what are you studying? Because they know. I'm like, well, let me tell you. So I want to tell you something that I've learned, because this was like, okay, so here's the kindergarten version of how your eyes work. So light energy that's been bounced off of everything you see comes in the eye and hits the retina, which is at the back, the back of the inside of the eyeball. In there are the receptor cells, so you have your rods and cones. I'm not going to get into how they work. And then they're attached to ganglion cells, which have axons, which are like basically all the wiring. And you can think of, they turn light energy into electrical energy. It comes through the nerves, out the back of the eyeball, through the optic nerve. And their first 90% of that electrical energy, the signals that has all the information about everything, it's going to go to the lateral geniculate nucleus, which is in the thalamus. So that's in the brain. And then another 10% of that goes to the superior colliculus. And if I'm saying that wrong, please let me know. Which has to do with eyeball motion. But most of it goes to this lateral geniculate nucleus. And then from there, it gets sent on to other parts of the brain. But here's what's fascinating. Even though it's getting all of this information, the LGN, we'll call it, it's actually getting more information through a feedback from the brain. So even more than seeing what we're seeing, the brain is telling itself what it's seeing. Isn't that crazy? So there really is something about to perception. It's not what's out there, it's what you think is out there. So when people, I got thinking about this, when people have a negative outlook on life or a positive outlook on life, it really does change everything. You see a tree, the proverbial glass half empty, half full. It's real. It's real because the brain is saying, this is what we're seeing. Because also you have to, you can't consciously process all of the sensory input. It's just too much. So your brain has to make decisions about what's irrelevant. Like if you're staring right at something, then the peripheral can be ignored. And that goes with, if you sit there and think about everything that you're feeling, there's pressure on your behind, maybe where your elastic band is just a smidgy too tight, but it's nothing that you have to worry about. So your brain just ignores it unless you stop and think about it. Well, actually I have just an itty bitty scratch right here, and actually this sports bra is a little tight, the little things that normally you would just forget about. So if memory in the brain is part of deciding what to see, but going back to, okay, I can feel my pants, but only if I think about it. Otherwise I don't notice it. Then possibly, just possibly, I'm hypothesizing here, if we purposely think about positivity, about seeing the world in a positive light, then maybe our attention will be more attuned to those things. And if we purposely ignore negativity, maybe it'll go away by degree. And Now that I'm saying this out loud, can you actively ignore something? No, you can't, because by actively ignoring it, you are drawing attention to it. So instead of bringing attention to it and saying, I'm not going to think about those things, just focus on thinking the good thoughts. And it's about like that verse in Philippians, whatever is good, whatever is noble, think on these things. So today, here's your little homework. If you see something that makes you go, ugh, frame it differently. Let's start retraining the brain to be on the lookout for beauty and love and joy and the fingertips of God everywhere, kindness, and then the brain will tell us what to see more. So, wish me all the best. My pack is so heavy it makes me want to cry. We'll see if I survive this. Got my bear spray, got my bug spray. What else do I need other than candy? I've got some of that too. Have a great day. I hope you're smiling.